Would you like to run ads that don't blow your budget but actually make you money? Well, I'm going to show you how to do that in today's video. And in today's video, I'm going to break down 3 things that you can do which will help you run your ads in a great way. Now, the good thing about this, I always base what I do in business based on biblical principles because they just work. So a reference I'll give you just to help you is Matthew chapter 22, verse 39. It's a powerful verse, it's a popular verse, and it helps you run ads successfully. So that's just a verse talking about the second greatest commandment: love your neighbor as you love yourself. So number 1, the first thing you should do if you want to run ads that don't blow your budget but actually can make you money is I want you to speak directly. Speak directly. I'm going to say 2 things. Israel, are you saying that I need to record a video, I need to be literally speaking in the ad? No, you don't have to do that, right? But if you do, speak directly. And then let me give you a example of something you shouldn't do. This is going to apply to most people, right? So they say that the Super Bowl every single year is the most televised, the most watched thing on TV on the planet, right? And one of the things which is famous about the Super Bowl, other than the game, is the ads, right? People obviously talk about the halftime show, but they also talk about the ads. Now, what's interesting is if you look into this, you hear people say, well, just to get an ad spot for like 15 seconds for the Super Bowl, it's like 5 million. Now, most people who are into sports can probably vaguely at least remember some of the ads. And the reason why I'm giving this as an example is because this is the kind of thing that you shouldn't do. You see, most of the people that run Super Bowl ads are mega established businesses. Right? You're going to talk about like the biggest of the biggest. Now, don't get it twisted. They obviously want to make money, but a lot of those companies are in a different phase of business. They're not starting out. They're not in a situation where they're worrying about their budget being lost, etc. They can take the hit. And one of the reasons we know they can take the hit is because they don't speak directly or as direct as they could in their Super Bowl ads. One of the things which always comes out of the Super Bowl ads is, oh, do you remember this ad? It was so funny. Oh, this ad, this company did this company did that, etc. They're doing something completely different, right? When you're at that stage and you're well established, creating advertisements which are brand building, which just remind the people that are listening of what you're doing, that's completely different. This is why a lot of these companies can take more time, can have more leeway, and obviously make these sorts of ads which are more humorous and funnier, and not necessarily things which are driving their sale. Now, they do still drive their sale, don't get it twisted, that's still the objective. But because the Super Bowl is watched by so many different people, they make ads which have a mass wide appeal. Now, one of the things that we know which people in all different places, all different ages can relate to, it's humor, something which is funny, something which is memorable. That's one of the reasons why a lot of these companies make ads like that. So you don't want to do something like that. You want to do the complete opposite, especially when you don't have a big budget like a lot of these companies do to just blow on branding ads, etc. at the Super Bowl. So number 1 is speak directly. So I've given you the reverse. I'm going to tell you what to do now specifically. So if you are going to run ads and you don't want to blow a budget, you want to actually make money, I want you to speak directly. And now, as simple as this is, I'm going to continue to reinforce this because so many people make this mistake. I see ads all the time. I help people with ads and they make this mistake so often. Just speak directly. So I'll give you an example, right? This isn't necessarily an ad, but the same principle applies across the board. If you think back to the beginning of this video, there were 2 things I spoke about. Or if you want to say 3 things, right? But the 2 things I spoke about were what I'm going to be talking about today, running ads in your business, number 1. And the second thing was I mentioned a passage in the Bible, which basically is like the umbrella, the thing which helps drive this point home. What did I do? Well, I'm speaking directly to the kind of person I know I definitely can help, right? Someone who obviously is interested in business and running ads, but also someone who doesn't have a problem with the Bible because that's a big part of what I do in everything that I do. So I'm being very specific. I'm speaking directly. I'm going to give you a strategy. There was no fluff. Do you want to run ads that don't lose money but make you money? Very clear. This is a passage which will help you understand how this works. One of the things which is great about speaking directly is when you speak directly, you typically are going to be speaking clearly. And when you can communicate clearly, it helps the person you are talking to get the message, to understand. Number 1, speak directly. Now, number 2, as you become more skilled, you don't have to do this in the way I'm going to tell you to do this today, but I want you to speak when you are making ads to one person. Speak to one person. I'm sure you probably heard before, like the avatar. or the ideal customer or client that you desire to help. You've probably given them a name or something, or there's someone you probably think of when you think about, if I was to ask you, who would be your ideal client, right? You probably think of someone, you start thinking of some of their traits and some of their characteristics, etc. I want you to think about speaking to that particular person when you are running ads. So, okay, what are they feeling? What do they think? What are the kind of things that they do? Where do they go, etc. Understand the one person you want to help, and by doing that, that will help you speak directly to them, which we spoke about previously. So it's, again, think back to the Super Bowl. They're speaking to everybody because it's mass appeal. Imagine a toilet roll company making the ad for the Super Bowl, but imagine if it was just super direct, okay? And they said something along the lines of, do you want a higher quality worth of tissue paper? Not everybody wants a higher quality of tissue paper, right? Some people just care about it doing its job. They don't care about it being cheap, cheapest of the cheap, right? Some people don't like the cheap stuff because it makes them feel funny and it gives them rashes and all that kind of stuff, right? So if they were going to be speaking to a specific person, right, this is a person who doesn't mind spending a bit more for getting the job done, because they're thinking more about other things than many other people who are just like, well, no, I just want this particular thing. Like, weird example, but hopefully it helps you get the point, right? And again, it's probably memorable as well. So speaking to one person, I promise you, is so valuable, so powerful, because instead of going like wide, right, like the Super Bowl ads, once you whittle down and you funnel it right to the specific person you want to speak to, it changes the game, trust me. Because when those people hear what you're actually saying, it's almost like, imagine being in a big room and you hear someone shout your name. You may not be the only person with that name in the place, but you're going to turn around because why? Somebody's calling you. That's what it's like when you write ads and you're speaking directly and you're speaking as if you're talking to one person, right? Number 3 is vital. If you want to write ads and you want to make ads that allow you to make money and not blow your budget, I want you to speak in your ads not, you know what, I'm gonna even make this red just so it's overemphasized. Speak not about you. What am I doing? Can you act like you can spell Israel? Not about you, but speak about them. This is crucial. This is one of the major reasons why so many people, when they run ads, they don't make money, because they make ads, whether it be pictures, whether it be videos, whatever it is, and they're so focused on themselves. Going back to this right here, right? The key passage which helps us understand this principle: love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you think to yourself, okay, how can I help them? How can I help you? And not think about yourself primarily, that will help you create ads which, again, remember I talked about, you're in a big room and somebody shouts your name, you're going to turn. This is the kind of thing which will help people turn, because they're going to realize, oh, this isn't someone like many people out there who just care about themselves. You are doing this for people you actually care about, people that you actually want to help. So when you write ads and when you speak about different things, imagine if I started this video and I said, hey, look, I want you to watch my video today and I want you to like it and I want you to subscribe, and I'm saying all of that stuff right at the beginning of the video. Who am I thinking about? I'm thinking about myself more than you, right? And now, but if you go back again to what I said at the beginning of the video, would you like to run ads which don't blow your budget but actually make you money? You don't want to blow your budget. You want to run ads, and you want to run ads that make you money, right? You see what I'm talking about? Once you understand that in all of the content you're creating, and again, this is why, again, I go back to this stuff here about the scripture, right? Because I like principles which work, and principles that work obviously work across different areas, across different scenarios. So the fact is, if I'm thinking about you as much as I'm thinking about myself, even at a bare minimum, in my content like this, and in my ads, and in other stuff that I'm doing, like my products, etc., that's going to help me create the best stuff, number one. And number two, it's going to relate and call out specifically the people who I can actually help. So if you like this video and you'd like me to do more videos on this sort of topic or something specific, let me know in the comment section below. But until next time, go win and God bless.